Guys, I'm back with another ghosty woasty experience of mine. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's, and that was about the which one was it now? When I saw the ghost, the spooky Merlin man. Um, Today I've got another tale to tell you from the same house. Uh, Probably would have been. I think this time we're looking at around half past five. What? We're looking at around, I would say, 2006, maybe 2005. And this was with my youngest daughter. It was her experience. And there's two, and I will quickly get them in as quickly as I can for you. Um, so it starts off, I think she would have been around, I don't know, five, I would imagine at the time. And the first one is it was an ordinary morning. I was getting the children ready for school, making the breakfast, and all that kind of thing. And then I went off into the living room, and Casey, was the youngest daughter, was sitting at the table in the kitchen having her Cocoa Pops. Uh, Again, it was about 8:30 in the morning, not even that, 8:15 in the morning. We were busy, we were scuffling around. There was no reason to be thinking, again, no spooky things, nothing like that, you know. And all of a sudden, I just heard her scream at the top of her voice and heard a crash in the kitchen. So, of course, absolutely terrified, I ran out there. I said, "Are you okay? What's the matter? What's the matter, Casey?" And I noticed, looking down, that her Cocoa Pops were all over the floor. And I was like, "What's happened? Are you all right? What's going on?" And she said, "No, no." And she was just crying, "No, no, no, mummy, no, no, no." And I said, "What?" And she wouldn't tell me. Again, she'd gone kind of quiet like I did with the guy in blue. And I said, "Well, darling, come and tell mummy. Come in the living room, come on." And eventually she said to me, "Well, I was eating my Cocoa Pops, mummy, and I looked up and I saw an old-fashioned maid standing by the bin in the kitchen." I said, "Old-fashioned maid?" She said, "Yeah, she had a black long dress on with a white pinny and one of those little frilly hats like that, and her hair scraped up in a bun, but her eyes were really dark, almost black." And I was like, "What?" Now she's 5. She doesn't know about things like that, like this at all. And I was like, "Okay, okay." I said, "What, did she say anything to you?" She said, "No, she was just staring at me." And she said, "I got so frightened I knocked my Cocoa Pops off the table out of fright." And I was just like, "What the heck?" You know what? There was me seeing that guy a couple of years before, and now Casey seeing this lady. Um, again, never saw her before or since. But then a few days went by, and Casey, she's my daughter, she is actually a witch as well. She can see spirit and all the rest of it as well, and she is an actual practicing witchcraft, same as me. Um, and she was upstairs in her bedroom playing her keyboard because she plays piano. So she was up in her bedroom playing it, sitting on her bedroom floor. It was an evening time, you know, probably about, I think I just bathed them all, so it was probably about 7 o'clock, 7:30, and she was in there just playing a keyboard, and her brother was up there with her, but I think he was in his room. And I could hear her tinkling away. And all of a sudden, I hear her scream and come running out of her bedroom and shooting down the stairs. And, "Mummy, mummy, mummy." And I'm like, what's happened? What? And she said, "Oh, mummy, mummy, I just saw a little girl sitting under my bed." And I was like, "What? Another one?" I was like, "What?" She said, "Yes, what happened?" And she said, "I was playing my keyboard and I sort of caught her eye, out the corner of my eye. And she said, and I looked and there was this little girl sitting like this, looking at me from underneath my bed, just watching me play the keyboard." And I said, "Oh, Casey," I said, "that's, oh, and you try and smooth it over into something, to try and console her, to make her not be frightened and everything." So I think I just said something, "Oh, you're probably tired. It's probably just a shadow," all that kind of thing. But inside I'm thinking, "Oh, crikey, another one. This is getting a bit much now. It's getting out of hand." That house was pretty insane. And then literally, I was like, I smoothed it all over, and literally a couple of days later, we're all sitting in the. It might have been a couple of years later. We were all sitting in the car, in the garage. My husband had popped in for petrol, And Casey is sitting in the back with Tallulah, and I think Alex and Verity as well. And so next thing I know, Casey's going, "Oh my God." And I said, "What?" She said, "Mum, I just seen that girl." She said, "Remember I saw that little girl sitting under my bed?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, I remember well, she was wearing a pink, like jogging top. She looked like from the 80s," she said, the pink jogging jacket and jogging bottoms. And she had her hair in a ponytail. And she said she had kind of buck teeth and glasses. And she said, "I've just seen the same girl, Mum, cross the road over the road." She said, and she looked at me. I said, "Oh, that's interesting." And then she was a bit older. I said, "Oh, that's interesting, Casey." I said, "Maybe she's like a guide or something, for you, a spirit guide or something." She said, "I don't know, but it freaked me out." So yeah, those were a few things that had happened in that house. Obviously, I've got lots more. I just thought I'd get those 3 little quick tales in for you for a video for today, because I've got to do them as I remember them, because I've got so many and then I forget what ones I'm going to tell you and what ones, all the rest of it. But I have got quite a few. I've got lots more, not only from that house, but I've got a few from my house when I was growing up, and I've also got some from another house that we lived at, to tell you. So yeah, let me know what you think. What do you think of the old maid? I mean, you hear a lot of these old maids, don't you? Like, um, just like in the old-fashioned dress and everything, and then the little girl that she saw twice. It's very, very, very strange. That house was so odd. It was kind of. I even ended up getting a psychic to come out in the end. I will get to that point, and she did a cleansing, and I will tell you all about that too. Um, and we were told that there was a portal in the front bedroom, so it probably explains all the activity that we were experiencing back then. Yeah, I've got lots and lots to tell you, to do with all these paranormal experiences. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy when you think about it. Um, we live in a funny realm, a funny old world, but I believe that there's many realms, and we're just one of them. We're the dense 3D realm, and there's much, much more. I feel there's much, much more than we could even imagine going on out there. From my experiences, this could be, like, I'm perfectly sane. We're all perfectly sane, and all the rest of it. We don't go around, until I connected into spirit. I wasn't going around looking for it deliberately, but I would just experience it. And so does Casey, who again she's like me. She's a witch, and so yeah, it's interesting. What do you think? I'm always, like I say, I'm open to your suggestions and your other explanations. But I was there, Casey was there, we experienced it, we know what went down, and it's pretty hard for us to not really believe it. Yeah, as you may have noticed, I have done my hair a different colour, just in case you're wondering. Yes, it is still me. I got fed up with black, so I've gone nice and bright for summer. Anyway, I hope you're having a really, really lovely Monday. Is there such a thing as a lovely Monday? Of course there's such a thing as a lovely Monday. I'm grateful to be here every day I wake up, and I hope you all are too. So I wish you a fantastic rest of your day. Whatever you're doing, take care, stay safe, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.